Hi, this is Rich from Wings, Wheels, and Wires, your channel for tech and travel, giving you a recap of the Fully Charged Live 2022 North America event here in San Diego, California. So what is an electric vehicle event? Well, what these are get-togethers with manufacturers and YouTube channels, for example, and various other organizations to further the understanding of electric vehicles. These events cater to all levels, all the way from EV curious all the way up to experts. For folks just curious about EVs, there's all sorts of introductory materials. They include how to convert EVs or how to install charging in your house or just answering general questions. For the intermediate folks, that would be the folks who either are just about to buy an EV or have their first EV. There's a lot of great information about range stuff, different apps to help you enjoy your EV more. I covered one of those being the BlueDot app. I'll put the link up here when I have it. And then for the EV enthusiasts like myself, there's a great opportunity to lay your eyes and hands on some of the vehicles you've been reading about or watching YouTube videos about. For example, I got to see the Rivian R1T, Ford F-150 Lightning, the Gamma version of the Aptera, a Porsche Taycan, Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6. I got to see an original Tesla Roadster, as well as the new Genesis GV60 in its lime green. It's a really interesting vehicle. They also had test drive opportunities for the three-wheel Arcimoto FUV, that's fun utility vehicle, as well as also the Electromechanica Solo three-wheel personal mobility vehicle. Also got to see the Fisker Ocean, which I have to admit looks much better in person than it does on photos. And I got to see a canoe. No, not that canoe. This canoe. In addition to checking out the vehicles, which was a lot of fun, got some different information, swag from different companies, bags, t-shirts, got some really cool sunglasses from Aptera. Thank you, by the way. Also a lot of panels with celebrities in the EV world and YouTubers. And this was a great opportunity to learn some additional stuff. And they had everything from the most basic stuff for beginners all the way up to more advanced concepts like the improvement in battery technology and stuff like that. So it was really great information. I also got to meet Sandy Monroe, and for anyone who isn't familiar with him, he's just this engineering genius that is expert on the vehicle production process, and he's helping out Aptera to go into full production. And he was absolutely awesome. He's actually even cooler in person than he is on his channel, which isn't always the case when you meet folks. Sometimes they may be disappointing, but meeting him was an absolute pleasure, and I'm glad I got a chance to meet up with him. Like I said before, I also got an opportunity to check out the Aptera Gamma, and I got to tell you, that was an absolute joy. I saw the beta version up in the Long Beach Electrify Expo event, and I got to tell you, the fit and finish on that was a little disappointing. The curves in the door jambs and stuff were very rough, basic, not very symmetrical. It was pretty disappointing. So seeing the Gamma version, much more refined, was awesome, and it just reignited my excitement to have this vehicle. Just in case you don't already know, I have an i3. I love my i3. Are there vehicles out there that are more technology, longer range, etc.? Absolutely. And I wouldn't say no to getting any of them, but I'm not going to get rid of my i3 for them. I don't see that big a jump really in what I need versus what those have to justify it. But the Aptera, unfortunately, that one would probably get me to get rid of my i3. I've ordered the 600-mile range one, and seeing this one on display, really, I can envision that being the one I drive. There were also a lot of displays from EV West. This is electric vehicle conversion company, so they take existing gas vehicles and they can give you the knowledge and the equipment to rip out all the innards and replace it with an electrical system. I almost did this myself. I bought my i3 because my Z3 had blown the engine. My wife had the engine replaced so that we could actually sell it with in running condition. And one of the things I had suggested to her, instead of buying the i3, was converting the Z3 into an EV. We didn't end up doing that, but it's really neat to see that you could do something like that. I went there with my wife, and she actually had a fair amount of fun at this event as well, because there were a couple of vehicles that really caught her eye. The Genesis GV60, she loved the color. The thing that really caught her is a lot of the internal accents are the same color, that lime green, yellowish color. And even the stitching on the seat was the same. So she really loved that one. And then she isn't a Tesla fan, but she absolutely loved the Model X. If it weren't quite so expensive, we probably would have put an order in for one that weekend. She was just absolutely in love with it. We passed by it like 6 times. One of the other EV companies that was there is Indy. They're a small EV company. I really haven't heard anything of them. This is the second event I've seen about them. I've done some research, and it seems like a decent car with decent specs at a decent price. Nothing overwhelming, nothing underwhelming. I'm probably going to do some more research and do an article on that vehicle in the future, though, because I think this might be one of those vehicles that kind of sneaks up on us. Speaking of vehicles sneaking up on us, here's one for you. Vinfast. This is a Vietnamese gas car company that actually got their start selling dry noodles. They've been selling gas vehicles in Vietnam for quite some time and are shifting over to electric with the VF9 and VF8 SUVs. I knew a little bit of them, but hadn't paid a lot of attention to them because they had sort of this interesting business model. In order to lower the price of the vehicle, they didn't charge you for the battery, but what they did is charge you a subscription fee for this battery. And honestly, I'm not a fan of leasing or renting. I would much rather just buy something and own it outright. So I kind of ignored that. But as it turns out, just the day before this event started, they had an alteration to their pricing plans. You can still buy the vehicle for a lower price and then pay a monthly subscription for the entire time you own your vehicle. Or you do have the option of buying the battery with the vehicle for the higher price. Honestly, I think this is a great idea. One, because just having the renting being the only option seemed like a terrible idea, but there may be some people that this actually works better for. Some people who would much rather have the lower payment. For example, the VF9, a 7-seater SUV, by the way, is $70,000 if you buy the battery. However, if you do the renting a battery, it's only $57,000. And for some people, that $57,000 may be all they can finance. So this monthly payment would be a better option for them. So I love the fact that you have both options. This gives more ability for people to buy this vehicle. And I have to say, the vehicles, I got to see the VF8 at the event. It is a beautiful vehicle, actually. I was impressed with how it looked. And very solidly built. It didn't feel cheap or flimsy or anything. That would always be my concern. My other concern I might have with any EV startup would be that they don't have the experience building electric vehicles. But as it turns out, they've been making gas vehicles for some time, so they already have the production knowledge. It's just a matter of shifting that knowledge over to electric. And they seem to have done that really well. If you'd like to see a full video on what I learned about this vehicle, go ahead and comment below, and I will be more than happy to do a full-length video. Another highlight for me at this event was the Scorpion. What this basically is a Ford Cobra converted to electric. It is absolutely beautiful. And I don't know which part I thought was cooler, the car itself or the EV charger they had set up like an old school gas pump. Really thought that was pretty cool. So to the good and bad of this event, there were not as many vehicle manufacturers as I had hoped there would be. But they did have a lot of vehicles brought in by individuals. So I got to lay my hands on a Taycan, for example, and a couple other vehicles that you don't normally get a chance to actually lay your hands on. It was really great in that regard. I would have liked to have seen more manufacturers there. I spoke with some of the people attached to the event, and they said that this was the first year for the event, and some of the manufacturers were iffy on dedicating time and resources towards attending it. Since the numbers were pretty well, they're really hoping next year's event will be a bit better. On hand was also the Electric Vehicle Association. That was actually another highlight of my trip there, because on our way out on Sunday, we were pretty much done with the event. And we went by and how we could spin the wheel and, win prizes. And I won a collapsible rubber dog bowl. Okay, maybe that isn't such a great gift. But my wife won a cruise on a electric powered yacht. So we went straight from the event over to this, cruised around San Diego Bay on this electric yacht. They actually had food and beverages included in this, which was absolutely awesome. It made just the icing on the cake for this event. It was absolutely awesome. I thank the Electric Vehicle Association for working with the yacht company to get that set up. It was really great. All right, so this is really just meant to be a quick recap. So that was the highlights of the event. If there's specific things you heard me say that you want me to speak more on, go ahead and throw that down in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to expand on any one part of that. Also, if you were at the event, I'd love to hear from y'all. Another thing that I have as an idea for a video, and you can let me know if you want this or not, is a compare and contrast. Because I live in SoCal, I got to go to the Electrified Expo up in Long Beach, and then I got to go to this event because this is my hometown. Both of them were real easy for me to get to. But for some people, this may be a bit of a journey to get to these events. And if you only get the opportunity to go to one event, you may want to know which one's more beneficial to you. So let me know in the comments down below if you want to compare and contrast between those two events to see which one better meets your needs. Okay, and as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it if you think other people would benefit from it. And as always, hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, I have links down below in the description for my Aptera discount link, my Redbubble store, and my BlueDot referral link. So if you want any of those things or interested in any of those, go ahead and hit them down below. And always, last but certainly not least, is my new subscriber shout out. So my new subscribers, Chuck Fortier and Andrew Bassa. Thank you very much for subscribing. Yeah, if you would like your own shout out, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and do one of either two things. Either one, you need to make sure that you're identifiable in your subscriptions. By default, you're not, so it's a setting you have to change. Or you can include in the comments down below going, hey, this is so-and-so, I subscribed, and I will absolutely make sure to include you in our shout outs. Thank you very much and have a great day.